and we're going to make some really fun paper clip, concealed paper clips using Paper Cameo digitals. Before we begin, I'm just going to quickly segue to the little video I made showing which digitals you'll need to make these. For this project, you're going to need to have the love seals from the Paper Cameo, or any of the Paper Cameo faux wax seals that come in most of, if not all of her kits. But if you want to have a lot to choose from and not have to print out a bunch of different kits, I would suggest you get these wonderful love seals. So I have printed these on Cougar heavy cardstock. I'll put the weight below, or I'll probably mention it throughout the video. But this is a very, very sturdy, heavy cardstock. And there are two different sizes. This is the A4 size, and this is, I think, the American size. But there's two different sizes. Like you can see that the hearts are bigger in this one. So we're going to make a couple from this set, and we're going to make some from this set as well. We'll see how many we can get done. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I've cut out a few here that I want to use. I have some of my supplies, and this is pretty much all I'm going to need, are some really pretty bling, some little crystals, and I've got some pearls. I've cut out some things. I have some extra little beads. I have beads here, and so you can use mini paper clips for the smaller ones, and you can use regular size paper clips for the bigger ones. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with this gold one here. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and I'm just going to cut down just to the really pretty gold edge here. I'm going to just cut this down and make it just a little bit smaller in size from the bottom one we're going to use. So I'm going to just cut that down just a little bit, and it's going to lay on top. And just so you know the supplies you're going to need, you are going to need some, I call this gold glop. I thought I was buying paint, but it does work sort of like paint, but it's really great for glop. It's Folk Art Treasure Gold, and you're going to need your glue gun, paper clips, and various beads and things. And of course, you're going to need your distress tool. So first, I'm going to just go around and I'm going to distress these, and I'm going to do it a little bit on the back so the white doesn't show through so much. I'm just going to go around and I'm going to distress both of my pretty little seals here. I love these seals with the eyes. I just love them so much. And then what you're going to do for this one is you're just going to take, I'm going to take a larger paper clip for this one, and I'm just going to snuggle it down into the crook of the heart right there. And I'm going to touch that up with gold after I'm all done. And then I'm going to just sort of set, I'm going to just take my, the one that I'm going to place on top like that. And I am going to also use some of my foam tape just to give it a little height. I'm going to cut off a couple of little segments and just give it some height all the way around so that it doesn't collapse in on itself. Okay, and then I'm going to just remove these, and I'm using these primarily for height, but they do also add some sticky. But then I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to apply it over the paper clip so that the paper clip will stay in place. And then I'm going to take my topper and I'm going to quickly place it on there like that. There we go. Okay, So now I'm going to take my art glitter glue, another supply you'll need. I'm sorry I didn't more succinctly say at the beginning of this what supplies you'll need. I'm going to list them in the more box below. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pearls that I've cut off of my pearl. Now I would say the preferable thing to do is to actually get loose pearls that aren't on the string, because the string tends to have little string left behinds, little nubbins of left behinds on the string. But I'm going to take some of these pearls that I've already cut off, and I'm going to glue them all the way around. And I don't actually do as many pearls as actually shown on the seal, but I'm going to start right here in the middle up here. And I'm just going to place one, if it doesn't roll away, right there. There we go. And then I'm going to just sort of go around placing them at intervals, trying to make it neat intervals. I'm going to put one right there. I think I'll put one right down here, so I've got a gauge to go by. Let me get that one. He escaped. Do one right there. So these make wonderful accents on journaling cards, in journal pages. They just really make lovely, and they're so, they almost look like they're real jewelry, which is so fun. Oops, let me get that one on there like that. It's sort of picky work. I mean, you have to be patient because the pearls are rolly and they're little, and they tend to want to roll away. So there, I've put some pearls on there like that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off some of my larger crystals that I've got over here. And these crystal chains are really very, very affordable. They're only, on Amazon, they were like $8, $9. So I use my not so good scissors. These are my good scissors for paper. I would use not so good scissors in cutting these metal things. So I'm just going to cut off some crystals, and so I can embellish with these as well. And just go along cutting some off, and then I'm going to attach these as well. And I have found that the art glitter glue really does keep them stuck down pretty nicely. You don't really need to hot glue the jewels on. The art glitter glue does hold them nicely, but you do need to let it dry before you start bonking it around onto journal cards or into your journal. I love Nicola's seals that she includes with all of her kits. When I first saw them, I was immediately just drawn to the possibilities of how to make them appear more real. They look so real just, you know, in the image, but you know, I love 3D stuff. As if you know much about me or you follow me at all, I love to do you know, more dimensional kind of collage work, and I make fairies and collages that are 3-dimensional. So there, that one goes on another. I need some more, but these just add such a really lovely effect to any kind of a journal that you're making, especially one that's a French journal or a fancy journal. They really add a nice effect. And the art glitter glue does dry clear, so you don't really have to worry about it ruining, looking gloppy. That's why I like it. I'm gonna put one right here. Okay. And then we're gonna let this one dry a little bit while we make another one. Oh, darn, see, gotta be careful. I've got some hot glue attached there. Let's make sure they're all on there. So you can see that. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're going to hide that and sort of hide that with our gloppy gold stuff. So we're gonna put that over here to just dry. And then I think, now here's a more simple one that we can make. I'm gonna just ink the edges of this one. This one has a little heart with a pretty, and for this one, I'm gonna use one of my mini paper clips, and I'm just gonna put it right there like that. And I think I'm going to cut off when you go to cut off the parts that you need, that you really want to focus on, I would just use your best judgment. I'm just going to cut this like this. Just sort of do that. I'm going to ink around the edge. And like I said, I'm going to ink on the back a little bit too. Ink on the back of this one a little bit. It just adds a little bit of an aging to it. And then I'm going to take my foam tape and I'm only gonna use one for this one. I just cut off a little bigger piece and I'm gonna place it down there as close as I can to where the heart would be. There we go. Oh, I forgot, that one's stuck pretty good, but I am gonna add some hot glue too, just to get that paper clip taken care of. I forgot that part. Okay, and then I have somewhere, I have some crystals. Let's see what this would look like. Oh, I know what I want to do. I'm going to turn off for just a second. I want to get a sequin. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back, and what I got was this one tiny little pink sequin. A silver sequin would work nicely as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little dot of the art glitter glue, and I'm going to place my sequin on there like that. And then I'm going to take just one of these the larger crystals. I have two sizes of crystals. I have a larger size and a smaller size. And I'll try to figure out which size is which and put them below. And get that turned over. And then I'm going to put a little bit more art glitter glue in the middle of my sequin. And then I'm going to just place that on top. Just like that. And you can see that's a very simple, but it's really, really pretty. So we'll let that one dry. And then I want to do this heart. This one is my favorite heart. I love this one. And so I'm going to use, once again, a small paper clip because obviously it's a smaller heart. This heart does come in a large heart, in the A4 size of the love seals. So you can make a large version of this one as well. So I'm just going to decide which one I want for the top. And I think I want this one for the top. So I'm gonna put my paper clip on the back. And I sort of put it, on the hearts, I sort of put it off as much as to the side as I can to get that paper clip snuggled down into the middle, like that. All right, and then I'm going to take my foam tape, and I think I'm gonna cut it into two pieces. Oops. Put one there, and I think I'll add one more just for the top of the heart, like that. Take off the seal. See, you can see how easy this is. And really, the pickiest part is adding your jewels at the end and then getting your gloppy gold stuff on there just right. And then put that right on top of the paper clip so it stays put. And then take it and put it on top. There we go. There. And then for this one, I'm going to use my smaller these glue strings. I tell you, glue strings, right? I'm going to use my smaller crystals. And this has 4 little crystal spots. So I'm just going to cut off 4 little crystals. Let's see. 1, 2. Oops, they're flying off the table. 1, 2. 2, 3. But these just make, I mean, as you can tell from the finished, they just add so much to ephemera. They're just wonderful. And you can make them without the paper clip and just glue them onto something. But I like the idea of them using them to attach something. Let's see if I can get this one to cut. There, okay. So now I'm going to take my art glitter glue, which I hope didn't dry up because I forgot to put the pin back in, which it did. Okay. Let me get, I forgot to put the pin in, and as you all know, art glitter glue has to have that pin, keeping it open, keeping it flowing. So I'm going to pick that up and put it on there like that. Put this one here. Let's see, right like that. There. This one here. It's sort of work, you kind of have to concentrate on what you're doing, but it's worth the effort. And let's see, get this one, put it right there. I think this one, I'm gonna start over because it's too gloppy. I'm gonna just put a little teeny dab like that. And put it on there like that, there we go. And you can see how that just makes that little heart so special. Okay, so now we're gonna do the gloppy glue, the gloppy gold part, which is fun. I'm gonna put those back in my little salt cellar. Now this is the part where you sort of have to be careful because you don't want to overdo it. So I sort of go in for the really gloppy glue part, and then I just embellish along the way with the gold. And I'm gonna cover up my paper clip down here like that. And cover my paper clip up at the top with gloppy glue. And just add globs, and it dries really pretty when you add the globs. There's that one. And then I'm going to do this one. Same thing, just add globs of glue. Globs look really nice. Just make it sort of as 3D as you can. Yeah, like that. I'm going to put that one to the side. And then on this one, I'm just gonna sort of add it around the edge, because this one doesn't have as much gold, but I am going to just give some gold touches to it. Oops, it's too much. Make it globby. There we go. Okay, you're going to notice that I edited some in this video because I wanted to show you two more, and I wanted to specifically show this heart, this eye heart, and then this little simple puff heart. Now, for this heart, what I've done is I have printed this page in two sizes. One I printed on my printer, it's 100%, and then I printed it at about 92% for this smaller one. So you don't need to actually cut them down. For this one, I used the same size and just cut it down to 3 different sizes. So we'll start with this one, and I'm going to try to make sure I stay all the way into the screen so you can see what I'm doing. So once again, I'm going to just, oops, I knocked over my ink. I'm just going to ink up all the way around the edges like this, and on the back, just to give it sort of an aged look if anybody were to turn it over. And same on the smaller one. And then I'm going to choose, once again, I'm going to choose a small paper clip. I'm gonna just go in from the side like this and sort of work it down into the crook all the way. All right, and then I am going to take some of my foam tape and I'm going to cut it into 3 little sections and put it on my heart like this. Okay. I'm going to just place it in 3 places so that it's evenly distributed. Take off the little tabs. Okay. I'm going to sweep my floor later because it's all over the floor. And then once again, I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm just going to put glue over the paper clip in a glob like that. And then I'm going to attach my heart, my smaller heart, to the top of my larger heart. I'm going to try to manipulate it as long as I can there. Okay, get all my glue strings out of the way. Okay, so now I have cut 2 lengths of my smaller size crystal like this, and see you've got glue strings on there, but these are the smaller ones, and you can see that they are a smaller size than the larger crystals, like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my art glitter glue and I'm going to start on this side, and I'm just going to follow around the heart. I'm just going to go halfway. Make sure I put my pin back in so my glue doesn't harden. There. And then I'm going to take, starting from the bottom, I'm going to just take this, and this is where it gets a little tricky. You have to twist it around and sort of flop it down, and then you have to fiddle with it. And I am going to take my paintbrush and just sort of wipe off some of that glue like that. There. And there's the first side of the heart. I'm going to just move it into place. Okay, and then I'm going to take my art glitter glue once again, and I'm going to go around the edge, the pearls, on top of the pearls, and I've decided not to use pearls. I'm just using my pretty little crystals. And then once again, I'm going to take and place it on the glue, sort of plop it down, and then curve it around. I hope you can see what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to not do it close up. And it wants to twist on the side on the second side always. So you sort of have to manipulate it into place like this. There we go. There we go, like that. There you go. There. I'm trying to get that one to meet up with that one right there. I actually think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this like that, just to that point right there. And then I'm going to add one more little crystal. I'm going to take my glue, my paintbrush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one little dab of art glitter glue right in there. And I'm going to take a little crystal. I'm going to need to cut this because it's two. Like that. And then the way I pick them up, just, I don't know if you've noticed, I actually wet my finger like that, and then I pick it up and I try to grasp it with my wet, and of course it's not going to work now, right? It's been working the whole time until I wanted to show you how I did it. And I'm going to put that one right in there like that. Let's see if I can get it right side up. Well, it would help if it went right side up, wouldn't it? There. And it might be too big. I might just need to try and get that to go down like that. There we go. There we go. And there you have a really pretty little sparkle eye. Like that. And then I'm gonna, of course, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna do this one here. I love this Puffy Heart one. It's kind of similar to this one in the simplicity, but it just, I think I love this so much is because I had my great-grandmother's necklace that was a heart just like this, and sadly, I've moved around a lot in my life, and sadly, it was lost in a move, and just broke my heart. I don't know where it went, but it went someplace without me. I'm gonna do that, put the paper clip in there, get a little bit of foamy tape, just a little bit. You don't need much. I use the foam tape a lot. If you want anything to be kind of dimensional, it works really great. I actually think I'm going to need just two for this, and I'm going to place them like that. I'm going to save that one over there and take off the little backs. Okay. And then once again, we're going to use our hot glue over the top of our paper clip. There. And then get our heart going in the right direction. Like that. Oops, that glue's gonna glob up, so I'm gonna do that. There we go. Now I'm gonna paint on that paper clip with my gold. I'll do that. And then I'm going to take, oops, these strings. You know how these strings are for these hot glue guns. Tell you, they are the bane of my existence. They just stick everywhere. And then I want to do one more, and I think I'm just going to use hot glue. I'm going to sort of show you what I was talking about before. If you use hot glue and you just take a little glob, put it on there, oops, and just sort of let it set. Oh, I really screwed that up. There. Sort of, I'm gonna just start over with that glob of glue. Little glob of glue. Let it set just for a second. It does give a little bit of a 3D effect. There we go. And now I'm going to try and get all the glue strings off me. Now to decorate this one, you'll notice on this little heart, there is a teeny little red center, and I was able to find a little red bead. I have a lot of beads. I used to make felt Christmas trees that were copies of, my grandmother had a felt Christmas tree that was all embellished with sequins and beads that she got at a rummage sale in 1949, and we all kind of used to fight over the Christmas tree pin. It was so darling. Well, finally, I just decided I was gonna make my own, and so I got felt and started constructing my own. So I have a lot of beads left over from when I used to do that. So I'm gonna put a teeny little glob of glue right there. Then I'm gonna take my little bead, my little red bead, and put it in the center, just like that. And then I'm going to take crystals. I'm gonna actually take a couple little pearls. Let's see what I've got in here. Here's a little pearl. Oops, I'm gonna put that right here. Right there. I'm gonna put another one right there. Another one right there. And then I'm gonna take crystals and put them right there. There. And put another one right there. There. Get it going the right way. There. Let me see if I can get this to go the right way. I just opened up a paper clip to use as a tool. Oops, there's my bead. And there we go. There we go. Okay, let me put my pin back in. All right, so there's this one. If you can see it. There. It turned out pretty. All right, so I'm going to add my glue, my gold, my gloppy gold to these. Here we go. I'm just gonna glop it on like that. Oh, the gloppier the better. I like the gloppy look. It just really adds dimension when you have this gloppy glue on here. Gloppy gold. I keep calling it glue, it's gold. If you can see what I'm doing. There we go. There. There's that one. And then I'm gonna add gloppy gold. I'm gonna try to hide the paper clip with that glop. And put gloppy gold all the way around. That looks pretty neat. There. You could also do gold leaf on these, I think. That would be really pretty. I need to try that, but I have to get myself some gold leaf. I don't have any. So just, oh, that one's pretty too. Okay. All right, so let's review what we've done here. And I'm sorry if this video is going to seem choppy because I'm going to have to edit out certain things that went wrong the last time. So this is the first one we made, our pretty heart with our lovely mysterious eye done with crystals and pearls. And then our very simple little heart with the 4 darling crystals. And then and I'm going to add gloppy glue on the top of this, on this paper clip too, to hide it. There we go. Oh, that's better. Yeah, that looks better. And then we've got this one, just very simple, little tiny sequin and a little crystal for embellishment. And then we have this one, which is really my favorite. I love this one. The heart eyeball with the crystals. He needs to dry. This is the one I made earlier that didn't go so well, but it still turned out pretty, and I love the way there's a tiny glint of crystal in the eyeball. And just so I can show you what I've done with them, I have like used them to embellish this little poetry notepad. I used it to embellish this journal insert pocket. And then finally, I did also use it to embellish this book that I made. And it looks so pretty up against that lace. Okay, folks, so that's everything. And I really hope you enjoyed this and that you'll try it out yourself. They really are fun to make, and I just think they are just little tiny jewels. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, please give me a like, and if you want to make a comment, if you want some explanations, I do try to go in and answer all my comments as quickly as possible, and I really appreciate all of your fellowship and your friendship, and I just appreciate this community so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye.